councils failing to tackle antisocial behaviour. You must see this a lot. You know, you live outside of London, but you live close enough to London for it to be kind of, you know, there is a problem, isn't there, with kids roaming around doing whatever they want.
Do you know what? I've been talking about this quite a lot. So when I was a kid, listen, I was naughty when I was a kid. Yeah. But I wasn't naughty. I was like, but I was scared of the police when I was a kid because they was.
Were you
like,
actually?
Well, they was like big army, like ex-army type blokes. They was. See now, you look at the old bill, the police, and like you've got to respect them for the job they do, but they all look. Like, they don't scare you.
They don't.
And they're not allowed to touch you or grab you or...
Well, they're all wearing these high-vis vests, aren't they? They don't even look like police anymore.
Listen, if it's... Like, when I was working the market, just before Christmas, down in Worthing, right, and we was packing away our stall, and there was a group of kids, probably about 15, 16, and they was all smoking and throwing things, and there was a boots right where the stall was. They all run in the boots and come running out of all the tester bottles, and like they just robbed it, right? And I was talking to another marketer, he went, mate, they're there every night, but the police are scared to do anything to them because they're too young. Right. They just need someone to scream and shout at them. If they're scared, they won't do it again. But there's no...
Or stick him in a cell for the night or something.
100%.
But they don't know. But this is the thing, this is why you go into Boots now to buy something, and you go, have you got... And they go, no, we haven't got anything. Because they've taken it all off the shelves. Because people just keep stealing stuff. So it's not even any point in having a shop.
Well, my friend Big Dean, he's a policeman, and he says now's the worst time to be a policeman because you've got to ask everyone the correct way to how they want to be spoken. Like he said, it's so difficult. Like you have to go.
Does he say that's because the police in charge are telling him that though? Yeah. Because I mean, I don't think people care. I mean, I don't know anyone who worries about what pronoun you call them. Do you? I don't know personally. I mean, I know that there's this woke business going on, and you hear these activists making a big song and dance. There's a guy that Julie talked to, Graham Linehan, who has his Edinburgh comedian show cancelled because he's been quite sort of vocal about trans people, and he's been quite vocal about, you know, how, you know, there should be proper spaces for women, blah, 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 blah. But they basically cancelled his comedy show on the grounds that, well, we can't have him here because he doesn't believe what we believe.
I think each their own. Like, I think people should have the right to... Why do people push their beliefs on people? Each your own. If you want, that's fine. I've got no problem with anyone doing anything they want. And
but also call yourself anything you like.
But don't force it on everyone else. If they don't like it, just everyone get along.
I said this yesterday. Look, if you want to pretend that you're a pantomime horse and you want me to call you Dobbin or whatever it is, I'll do that if that's what you want. But don't make me don't tell me you're actually a horse, and don't tell me that you're running in the 450 at K-Dock, you know, because you won't be.
I see a video on TikTok yesterday. It made me laugh. It was a woman who said her son identifies as a cat, and her son has been unwell, and she took her son to the vets, and the vet said, no, this is true, and the vet said, I can't do it with your son because they've got a different analogy. They're like,
he's not actually a cat.
He's a human, he's not a cat. So he needs to go to the doctors, otherwise he could get very ill. And then she trying to sue the vet for discrimination against her son because...
Dear God.
The world's gone mad.
Is that in America?
Yes,
sounds American.
It was American.
They do nutty stuff in America. I mean, this is the thing. You know, in America, they're now robbing shops because in San Francisco, I think it was, they issued a dictum from the town council. They said, look, anything less than $1,000, we're not going to prosecute you. So people go into shops now and they take, as long as it's less than 1,000, they know they're not going to get done. So now, friends of mine who've gone on holiday to San Francisco, they're a bit of a nightmare because, you know, you go into a sort of department store and suddenly there's a load of people,
kids running in. That's one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
It is, yeah, and people are just coming in, nicking stuff and running out again, and nobody stops them. It's really weird, isn't it? Very weird indeed. Couple of things to mention to you. Rishi Sunak, who's still on holiday, funnily enough, in California, apparently struggling to fill unpaid posts in the House of Lords. You fancy it?
I'll give it a go.
Will you?
I'll give it a go.
What would you call yourself? Lord what?
Just the Bosch Party.
Lord Bosch of...
Lord Bosch of Romford.
Lord Bosch of Romford. It's got a good ring to it, that. What would be your main sort of plank of policy?
I don't know. I think everyone who works hard a week deserves a pint of beer at the end of the week. Yeah. Or a glass of wine. Yeah. I think that's got to be a definite in.
I think so.
I think just make people smile a little bit more and just cheer everyone up a little bit. You know, it's hard times at the moment, and I think people need to know that people are behind them. A lot of problem with the government now is they don't relate to the everyday person. So I do think someone in power needs to just be a little bit more friendly and help people and push people.
Well, give people a bit more money as well.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Give them a bit more money back, because people are paying more for the council tax. You know, the old interest rates are going up again.
Even look at shopping bills.
Yeah.
You go to Tesco's or Asda's, it's gone up like 50 quid for the average shop in the last 2 years. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Incredible. Now, how to fight mosquito bites. Peace in the Sun is advice from some tropical medicine experts. It says here, humans are not mosquitoes' first choice. They prefer horses, cattle and birds. So if they get to you, that means there's not enough of them around. Apparently 500% rise in mosquito activity when there's a full moon, and only the females bite. That's not surprising, is it? They need the blood as a source of protein for their eggs. Have you ever had one of those where you're in a holiday place and you turn the lights out, try to go to sleep, and you hear that...
Yeah, it's the worst thing ever.
You can't sleep.
I've got a mosquito bite here, look. Look at that, look, right there.
That's a bad one.
I know, I've got a bit right there.
They don't bite me, funnily enough. I think I'm too toxic. Too much alcohol in my blood. I don't think it can go anywhere near me. But I've known, members of my family who get bitten really, really badly and like it's all swollen up. It's horrible.
It's bad. I hate it. I always get bit. Always get bit.
Right. That bad news. Long-term sickness hits a record high. 2.6 million people off work. In your business, right, when you're working in a market stall, if you know people who are driving a cab, or you even in the gym that you're running. People don't take time off if they work for themselves.
You can't.
We talked about Steve Khan the other day. You remember he said, well, ULEZ is going to be great for the, the individual traders because they're going to be healthier because the air's going to be cleaner, so they won't take as much time off. And I went, mate, you don't know what you're talking about, because if you are actually a trader, an independent businessman, you don't take time off because you can't afford it.
It's impossible.
You don't get paid, do you?
Well, if you don't go work, you don't get your readies. That's as simple as that.
Right.
And mate, Sadiq Khan, he's literally shutting London down bit by bit. I really dislike the man.
I know. Listen, you're in good company on this station, because we've asked him to come on to my show, I think, minimum about 100 times. And he just won't do it. He won't come in, he won't answer questions. He'll go on other stations because they give him a nice, easy time. But he won't come here because he knows that, we're a bit hostile.
I just think the ULEZ is just so crazy. It's just crazy. It is honestly crazy. It's going to ruin London. It's going to ruin London's economy. People are going to lose out, can't go to work. That's what I said the other day. People just going to price up jobs. Have now got to pay, if their van's older than 2015, they've got to pay 25 quid to come into London because you've got the congestion charge and the ULEZ, and you've not even got the job yet, you know? And then independent businesses that are inside the ULEZ zone are going to suffer from people who can't, literally, who can't get there because they can't afford to. They think, well, I'm not paying another 12.5 quid to go and buy something for a tenner.
In Glasgow, right, where they've got the same zone, but in fact they can't actually pay to drive in it. If you drive in it, you just get fined. There's a guy who runs he's got a mechanics shop, basically fixes up cars, and he's been there for, 2 generations. His dad used to run it, and it's a proper, proper place where you would take your car. He's just inside the zone. And so nobody's going to the shop.
Yes.
Because you can't get any business.
It's terrible.
Because as soon as you drive in, you get a fine for 60 quid.
Look,
60 quid!
I agree that we've got to do something and get greener. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, look, global warming's a thing. But let's not affect the everyday working class people. Let's work together and find out a better solution than finding everyone who's got a car older than 7 years old.
Yeah.
Fact.
I know. It really is. His life's hard enough, isn't it? People are having a tough
100%.
time. They've got to send their kids to school. A lot of schools are closing down as well, so they've got to send a kid further away from school, so which means that if there's no public transport, there's no bus, you've got to drive them. There is simply no other way. Absolutely incredible. So, what else are you doing today? You finished off your audio book yesterday.
Finished my audio book yesterday.
Give us a flavour of what's in there.
Well, it's a book about my life. It's called Graft. You can get it on Amazon, pre-order, not out till October.
Right.
But basically, a bit about my life growing up, being naughty when I was younger, my ups and downs.
Yeah.
Obviously, one time when I went to Dominican Republic and almost got kidnapped, that's in there. There's some mad stories, like working in the markets to dealing with gangsters and it's crazy. It's all about my life, but it's good fun.
But that's why people's lives are interesting, isn't it? I mean, again, you go back to the politicians down in Westminster who don't really have any of that. They've gone through, most of them, well, let's say all of them, because some of them are slightly different, but most of them have had good upbringing, gone to decent school, gone to university, got into sort of, politics at an early age, and that's all they know.
100%.
But I'm like you. I mean, I grew up in a relatively kind of crazy household. My parents didn't have an awful lot of money, but I worked from the age of 14 in this bakery in Hampstead, and these characters would come in from all over the world. There was a Romanian guy who was a karate expert. There was the Hungarian rowing team who defected, having come to row in some Olympic event or something, decided they wanted to stay in Britain. And it was just mad. There was an old Greek guy, who was called Apostolos, who got so drunk that his head would fall into the sink while he was washing the dishes, And I mean, all of that stuff is brilliant, isn't it?
But there's nothing better than the school of life.
Yeah.
I mean, I got expelled from school when I was 14 years old.
Did you get back or not?
No, I was allowed to go back and finish off my GCSEs, but I went and worked with my dad and I had my market stall, and I was always buying and selling.
Well, that's the thing, right? Tomorrow, people get their A-level results. You didn't get any A-levels.
No.
And so a lot of people have managed actually quite well. There's a lot of kids, I think, feel very kind of pressured. You know,
100%.
My son actually is not too bad. The 18-year-old, he's very relaxed. In fact, nobody knows where he is at the moment. He went out last night, didn't come back. But he went to some party.
Having fun.
Yeah, doing what you should be doing. You know, but a lot of kids are like really nervous. They're going, oh, if I don't get what I want, I won't get into university. Don't worry about it. I think this would be my advice.
You haven't got to worry about your grades. Look, hard work beats talent. Every day
of the week.
So just, look, find something you enjoy doing. Also,
especially now, because a lot of young people now don't want to work hard. You know, they want to come in a couple of days a week, you know, they work from home, a bit of blended working, you know. Oh, I don't want to feel too much pressure.
You've got to get up and get on with it.
Really? Don't you?
Get up and get on with it. And listen, if you never try, you won't know. If you try, you might get there, you might not, but at least you tried. Right. So you've got to go out there and give it 110%.
And if you don't want to get a degree in something, just don't bother. You know, just go and get a job. And 100%. Then, you know, I've said to my kids, look, in 3 years that you're at university, you could have got into a business, you could be making decent money in 3 years, instead of which you're going to go for 3 years to some university, not learn very much, and have about 50 grand's worth of debt when you come out. And 100%. You make the same money you would have made 3 years ago.
100%.
How about this guy, right? A joke blue plaque has gone up, and it's gone the way of... it's a guy called Hugh Davis, who's got a 4-letter tribute on his park bench, right? He had it on his park bench. They've now put a plaque up. Right. And his mates did it because they said he's famous for basically shouting at seagulls. That's what he did. Every day, every morning, go out and tell them all to F off. So he's got... They put a blue plaque up for this guy somewhere in, where is it? Aberystwyth Castle. And they put a blue plaque up in memory of him, and it just says he was famous for telling seagulls to F off.
Brilliant. A
blue plaque. I mean, I don't think I'd want one. Would you want one?
Yeah,
on your house? Yeah, of course. Blue plaque. What would it be on yours?
I don't know. The geezer that says Bosch.
Bosch. It's quite good, that, though. Have you copyrighted that?
No, you can't copyright a word, can you?
You can.
Can you?
Yeah, because I heard... who was it who was telling me that somebody copyrighted... John McEnroe. He copyrighted, you know, the tennis player, "You cannot be serious," is what he used to say to the umpires when he was having a row. He said he hasn't made any money out of it, but he copyrighted the actual phrase.
I mean, it's a lot of ag to copyright a word. I love everyone. Everyone says it now, and I've got Bosch Gym, Bosch Workwear, Bosch Comms, these companies.
Well, I started with Plank of the Week, because we do a show called Plank of the Week, and every week we sort of go through the top 10 people who've done the most stupid things. And plank was a word I used on the radio because it wasn't rude and it wasn't banned, you know, but everybody knows what it means. It basically means the same as lots of other words with 4 letters, but we can't call it that. But now, whenever I hear anybody calling somebody else a plank, I go, "That's my word. It's mine. I make no money from it." What have we got finally? Asexual and aromantic flags are going to be hung in public buildings in Wales. I think they should go with the plaques instead.
What?
I'm not even sure what that means.
Why?
I don't know what it is. What's an aromantic flag?
I don't know.
Maybe somebody can tell us. What is that?
What is an aromantic flag?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does anyone know? Does anyone know?
Nobody knows. They're all looking a bit blank in there. A fewer HMRC staff working in the office than during lockdown. So in lockdown, they weren't working there. Now there's even fewer. I say that's good news. If the tax people are not working, I'm happy with that. You know, I don't want to pay any tax. People say, "You've got to pay tax." No.
They're going to be on you now.
No. Yeah, but they already are on me. They just waste it. I don't mind paying tax for stuff, but do 100%. Something good with it. You know, don't spend millions and millions of pounds on nothing. 100%. Don't waste it. Don't give it away to people who are not working. You know, I once came out of my house in London, live in this little square. I saw an MP there, and he went, "Oh, you're Mike Graham." He said, "Oh, I'm such an MP from Derby somewhere." He said, "I've just moved in." I said, "Great." I said, "Now I'm paying for 2 flats, mine and yours." Because it's true, isn't it? I mean, unbelievable. Anyway, listen, good to see you. Tomorrow, I don't know what maybe you should come on a boat tomorrow.
No, tomorrow I'm coming in. The black cab's never let me down. The Bosch cab, my mate Colin, he'll pick me up at my house.
What's his name, Colin?
Here. Colin the cabby.
Come on, Colin. Are you listening, Colin? Make sure he gets here, because he's struggled. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Lucky he's not coming very far. Anyway, listen, good to see you.
And you.
Tom Skinner, back tomorrow, of course, at 9:30.